In the past few months, I spent more time in my sketchbook than usual, which to me is quite exciting. Last year I used my sketchbook mostly for things like generating ideas and thumbnailing. But I figured out it's about time to go back to the basics and tackle the things I have a hard time drawing. Like legs, feet, poses in general, the list goes on. Though I consider myself a pretty decent artist at this point, there's always something you can get better at. Looking back to the few years I practiced this craft, I describe this journey as 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You learn something new, you execute this, and somewhen go back to the thing you learned, like how to draw an arm, and discover something you haven't realized before. And it doesn't matter how good you think you are or how good I think I am, there's always something new to learn or something to level up at. And I think this is quite exciting. It's like a never-ending journey, whatever. But on the other hand, it's just frightening. It's frightening, and it's something that has kept me and for sure many other artists from creating things. You always question yourself, am I good enough to make this painting, or am I good enough to start an epic graphic novel? This fear of not being good enough is always lingering in the back of your head. And it's just so easy to step into this trap and never find your way out of it. And I'm sorry to say this, but I can't offer you some magical solution that keeps you away from falling into this trap. The only thing I can do is to remember you and remember myself that we kind of have to find a sweet spot between practicing and creating. In the past days I was thinking a lot about this YouTube channel and even if I should continue making videos at all. And I came to the conclusion that I'd really like to use this platform to document this journey, my personal journey of getting better at art and at the same time creating things I'm proud of and I can share with the world. So we'll see how this plan turns out, but for today I want to share an exercise with you I really like and hate at the same time because it's just frustrating. The basic exercise to this would be rotating simple forms like squares, cylinders or pyramids in 3D space. Go check out Modern Day James' video on this topic. He really explains this in depth and this was kind of an eye-opener for me actually. When I got that sort of figured out, it's time to go further and rotate an object, or in my case, a character in space. So this is still quite hard to me, so I need an actual 3D model to check if I get something right or wrong. For this purpose I like to browse on Sketchfab. It's a website where 3D artists offer their models for sale, and I'm not sponsored or anything. Just pick a model you like and there you go, a fully rotatable character. So for this demonstration I'm going to use this cool samurai from Tomi Kushinsky. I start by drawing the figure once from reference. So I try to think of the character in simple shapes while trying not to stiffen up the pose. I can really recommend Broca's figure drawing class for getting better at, well, drawing figures. And I still feel very uncomfortable drawing legs and feet, so this is why I take all the time I need to get them nailed down just right. So as you can see, I only want to draw the pose of this figure, so I gotta kinda see through the clothing. If you're new to this exercise, consider picking a naked model. To get a better understanding of the perspective, I imagine a box around the first character and rotate this box to a different perspective before drawing the next pose. This time around I don't use a reference. I rather try to think how the shapes of the body would turn and overlap in this perspective. And this is where the frustration happens. But that's just the whole point of this exercise. If you're able to envision complex figures as simple shapes and rotate them in any direction, you are basically Kim Jong-gi. Next, I go back to the reference, turn the 3D model in the way I need, and check for mistakes. So overall my attempt wasn't too bad. I drew it a lot more foreshortened than it should be, and the foot placement is pretty off. Also, the chest overlaps way too much with the head area, but I like how the arms turned out. After analyzing what went wrong, I draw it again, this time from reference. As you can see, I struggled a lot with getting the perspective of the legs right, but again, I didn't want to rush things and took the time I needed. So basically, you can go crazy with repetition here and draw this pose again from imagination, then referencing and so on. Or you pick another pose and do it all over again. Gosh, I really don't like drawing legs. Maybe I should do a legs challenge someday, like athletes do, just with drawing. Yeah, I know this is quite different to my previous videos. No inking, no cool comic-ish scenery, but this is part of my artistic journey. And really, that's what I want to capture more in these videos. Less creating content directly for videos, but rather document how I get closer to my ultimate goal. Which is to build worlds, tell stories, draw cool stuff, and pack this into comics. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about this type of video, so please let me know in the comments down below. Also, do you have a favorite exercise? Then please also share it with us. Thank you guys so much for watching, have a wonderful day, and Liz over and out.